One out greetings to you. I will talk to you about very funny situations, which are about the victims of selection. Look, so you know that there are thousands of them, and each one of them thinks that he is only whom God chose when his bad luck led him to the Bible church. Of course, one of the most important benefits of spreading a video is to uncover the game. Of course, this gang in Iraq led by a demon terrorist who entered the Bible church and went away. The game is played by the victims of choice in Iraq, who are stupid fools, or very poor, or those who are against them. These are simple and weak people who are exploiting their bodies to make them a scapegoat for him, or to confront him in order to throw them responsible for corruption and the evil deeds that he does in Iraq. Of course, I noticed these victims, and there are many of them who have reached a degree of stupidity, such that each one of them believes that he is responsible for all of Iraq, or he owns Iraq, or he leads the world, even as he controls the politics of even countries. Of course, after I delved into this topic, I found a lot of jokes or gang tricks that you do with the victims to make them fall into this delusion trap. For example, the internet is completely under their control inside Iraq as well. A very important person, or for example, there is someone who gets angry when he does not visit him. Also, there are other tricks, for example, cutting off the electricity, and this is a very dirty game, and it is related to the brain control program when reading ideas. They also play with this generator of electricity.
I think I want to leave.
You must be insane.
Make them feel guilty.
We're doing important work here.
You expect saving the world is easy?
We're all called upon to make some sacrifices for the cause.
To me, I was shocked, but I wasn't overwhelmed. I thought it was a divine experience, and I was chosen because I was special. I was hearing up to 30 to 40 voices at once. Some sounded like family members, others sounded like friends, and there was a lot of celebrity voices as well. People like Will Ferrell, Emma Thompson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and even our past Prime Minister, Stephen Harper. It was funny, when I was talking to him, he was busy telling me I was a brat, because all I would do was bug him, saying like, "How are you doing today?" And he's like, "I'm busy." He'd always say that to me. But if that was real, right?
And your other loved ones, they become sort of ghost-like. But the cosmos itself, nature itself, suddenly has discovered that you are the chosen one, and it's chasing you to touch the slip of your garment because you are the one. The irony is, of course, that as I speak this sentence, tens of thousands of people worldwide are insane, and they all feel that they are the chosen one. So something is not right there. Anyway, the thing is, you never really discover what you are chosen to do, because it's like dreaming, but on steroids. You're chosen to do a bazillion things. You get a million revelations, as weird as John's in the Bible. And this information floods your brain until you short circuit, you talk nonsense, and you wet yourself. You are officially insane. The tragedy is, of course, that when this hyper-love affair of the brain with itself ends, you discover that instead of being the chosen one, you have now descended to the lowest rungs of society indeed. You're now officially a crazy person, and it will take you years and years to recover from your experience. And this is just the bright, euphoric side of the coin. There's also an extremely dark side to psychosis. In 2007, a 23-year-old woman threw down her baby from the 4th floor of the Amsterdam department store, the Bijenkorf, and jumped after her. Her baby died in the hospital, and she was in a coma for months. You see, she also felt extremely special, only this time the universe hated her and was chasing her to hurt her. She was officially chosen to be in the deepest circle of hell. Her experience is not unique. A lot of people get this kind of psychosis and they suffer. We live in an extra special time.
I would probably fall too. Or I would tell people around me, hey, I'm God's chosen one now. After this guy left Toronto, God want me to shepherd all of you. Then I will have multiple wife donation every week. Then I went on stage. Guess what?
To that. And these tricks are taming the victim to walk the way they want, meaning the victim must act as a responsible or important person in order for the gang's plan to succeed in throwing responsibility on him. But if he acts as it is in reality, the gang's plan will fail and no one will believe them. They have morally degenerate elements that are incited against him. When he responds to them, this will be interpreted as defending a position for him. Or they are competing with him for the position he has. It is even more funny that the victims do not know anything about this position. I mean, the gang tries to make the victim like a donkey and a carrot. I mean, they study the victim well in order to know what she likes or dislikes. That is why they will create a suitable carrot for each victim. For example, I know a victim who is a friend of America and the countries of the alliance. In Iraq, of course, the gang made a group of its subordinates, they are West and North, play the role that they represent these countries. And this was the carrot. With this the victim was running on a road and he thought that if he disagreed, these people would be heard. They also played with him a game of cutting electricity. But he has good luck, as he knew the game by comparing the laws in which this group works with the terrorist group, which is the generator of electricity, East and South, and he found it the same thing, both of them work with the same law, both in one record. This means that this carrot is only a lie. They understood one gang led by one person, which is Satan the terrorist who made himself a prophet in Iraq. 3. This imaginary carrot also knew that he was not the only one who played with him like this game. This carrot changes with every victim. It means if the victim loves Mars, for example, they will create carrots for him. Of course, they will make him believe that the future existence of this carrot depends on him. I mean, if he ignores their laws, you will be heard. That is why he will walk in the path of those who want him, or he works in the dark, or he acts as a responsible person, or says that he has a position and has money, property and followers, and if he does not say this, this imaginary carrot that has no connection with America or the coalition countries, rather, they are a subordinate group of this gang only. They are not even his friends, or he is responsible for them, or they take orders from him. Of course, every victim of the choice is made carrots for him to run after it. Also note, of course, even if he reveals such a trick, they will not leave him. Rather, they may try to invent another lie. To pressure him to keep a donkey or a scapegoat for their demon leader. Also, I want to rediscover his scapegoat game, and it is like a gang leader who hides himself and makes another person become his scapegoat or a scapegoat or picture of him so that others think that this person is the leader of the gang and he is the one who registers elements for it and he is the one who gives orders to them and whoever chooses them. As for Satan, the true leader of the gang, he is a hidden person who does not know anything about him and is far from any danger, as well as throwing all the results of his evil deeds on the head of the victim of choice. Of course, one of you might say, are there people 4 fools and idiots accept to be a scapegoat for a terrorist gang leader in Iraq like this and bear the consequences of his evil deeds? It is even more funny that they take on this role voluntarily for free. It means sometimes we hear stories that when one of them is caught, he is looking for a poor person to agree with him and he is given a sum of money to carry the case on his behalf, or he goes to the court to confess and says that the drugs are for him, and after that he is imprisoned and spends the prison period allocated for this kind of crime, but for a sum of money. But among the victims of choice, we see a very funny example of people, even the donkey is much smarter than them. They become scapegoats for Satan, but without any compensation or in exchange for things that are not more trivial than them. This means a place to live, some food, old clothes and some insignificant money that is not enough to buy even new clothes to them. Look at such examples. Some of them also excel. Mir is much in his stupid rival. The gang deceived him and made him believe that God chose him or the Holy Spirit entered his body in the gospel church in Iraq and he has become working in the darkness or has gained authority. Also, the victim's family or relatives are with them, as well as all those he knows. A brain control chip is implanted on him so that he can be killed with it later if he becomes aware. 6. Addy knew the game or rebelled against them, or the period of using his body as a scapegoat for Satan has ended, and he is the true leader of the gang who invented the laws by which this gang operates, also their records in his hand. Here they notice that the gang uses deception in order to get victims of choice, so there is no sane person who accepts to be a scapegoat for a gang leader who hides himself, unless he is deceived by something else, or he is foolish and mentally ill, or he agrees with the gang leader on a sum of money in exchange for becoming a picture of him, or he makes him use his body. Or there are other reasons, which are an unparalleled level of stupidity for the victims of choice, for example, believing a lie that God chose them or that they were only the ones chosen. Of course, God cannot choose tens of thousands at the same time and in the same way. Also, from the severity of the victim's stupidity, it is not you can differentiate between the destiny of God and the tricks of brain control gangs that use technology. Also, God does not give someone a gift and send it in someone else's hand or make another person their guardian or guardian. Also, as I said, the gang uses the style of a donkey and a carrot. It means making the victim believe that he will get something if he walks in some way, meaning perhaps a position he dreams about, or he wants to benefit people whom he considers his brother through this. While it is only the path of perdition. Also, there is a game. Its name is the victim's followers, and it is one of the most important tricks of the gang as well. It is also being deceived by the fools of the victims when they try to escape from this gang. So that all the roads are blocked for the victim and only one road is opened for her, which is that. 7. Addy gathered his followers, and among the severity of the stupidity of the victim who forgot that he does not have anything for his money at all and no property, then how will he pay these followers? Are they fools like him in order to deceive them and tell them God chose you, or play with them a game of love and hate, or give them promises, or use his way the donkey and carrots, etc.? Of course, all this will not work because the victim is the only donkey who has fallen into such tricks, because as I said, he is a stupid person, or mentally ill, or very poor, or a gang against him. That is why he cannot collect his followers. He is begging for some food or some money. Have you heard with a person leading a group while he knocks on the doors of its members in order to ask them for some simple money or old clothes, for example? Of course, there is no such thing at all.
Weapons that can be used covertly, and they can be used to survey, harass, harm, and even kill a person from a distance without leaving a trace of evidence. How can this be done? Well,
you are feeling the effects of this because you are the antenna, because you have this infection growing on top of your skin and inside your body. You get it? And this is another reason why it doesn't need to be a directed
possible defense against this maddening horror.
All right, who is it? He fired that shotgun at somebody, but there's no trace of blood or no footprints other than his. And I know damn well she didn't do it because she's not big enough to break his neck the way we found him.
It can attack any time. Anywhere. Anyone.
I didn't come here to hurt you. I wanted to see you.
Should I be afraid of you?
I've been watching you all evening.
How could you do that?
I watched you make love to him.